Hi.
Hey man, I knew you were gonna
How?
accept my invite. How's it going?
Of course. Good. How are you?
Just wrapping up some stuff for work. So,
Good.
quick question
What's
for
your
the
name,
top,
by the way? My name is Chris. What's your name?
Danny.
Danny. Nice to meet you, Danny.
So, in the video that you switched 2 weeks ago, you said that US destroyed my country, Romania. Can you back it up?
No, what I said was that U.S. destroys socialist countries.
Sorry, I got disconnected.
I said that the U.S. destroys socialist countries.
No, you said US destroyed your country, quote unquote.
No, I said the U.S. destroys socialist countries.
Uh,
I mean, at the end of the day, the Cold War, the nuclear arms race, and everything had a horrible effect on Eastern European socialist countries that ended up, bankrupting them. But I wasn't saying directly on Romania, like the U.S. was focusing on Romania.
that's what you said, man.
No, I think
You,
you misunderstood me.
huh?
You
What'd you say?
misunderstood me.
I didn't misunderstood
You
you.
misunderstood me.
If I'm saying US destroyed Romania, that means that I think that US destroyed Romania. I'm not talking about socialist countries.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
make reference to my country, so don't back it up on it, buddy. So
No, I'm not making it up. You just misunderstood me.
okay, how about I get out of the live, I go rewatch the video, and I'll be right back.
You can do whatever you want.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So this guy is a tool. He's definitely pro-imperialist. Anyway, I have someone else waiting with a thing of what's his name from Apple. But this guy wants to watch my video and come right back in, so I'll give him a few minutes. Sorry, John Tyler. Let me just wait a couple minutes for this guy to come back in. He really wants to dig down on my response video to him, so I'll give him a few minutes. Love America. You're all good. Thank you, man. Thank you. John Tyler, while we're waiting, just where are you coming from? Like, what's your perspective on things? Are you conservative? Are you liberal, libertarian? What are you? Go get another tattoo or something? I don't have a lot of tattoos. I mean, I don't want to be completely covered, but I don't know why you would tell me to go get another tattoo. Do you think mental health should be more prioritized, covered in general health? Of course. Of course. Mental health is one of these illnesses that is really demonized by our society. I'm in the healthcare field, so you'll see people all the time talking about the person with mental health issues. Oh, they're fucking crazy, stuff like that, and it's really hey,
Welcome to the USA, the country that destroyed your country. Those were your exact words.
yeah. So
So
what I'm saying, yeah. So what the United States does to socialist countries is it destroys them. It brings them into a Cold War. Okay, it sends in spies. It assassinates their leadership. It goes to economic warfare, assassinations, funding and training of death squads. It poisons their water and food like it did in Vietnam. It does things like Operation Condor, like it did in Latin America in the 1970s, where from 1970 to 1979, it killed 60,000 innocent people.
so
That's what the
what
United States does.
what happened in Romania?
What happened in Romania? What
Mhm.
happened in Romania was part of a bigger picture of sabotage, Cold War, economic sanctions, isolation, and
Mhm.
that's what really brought socialism down in Eastern Europe. Not specifically
Okay.
Romania, but bigger
All right.
picture.
So how did US destroy Romania?
I just explained it to you.
You didn't. You just gave a broad array of US intervention around the globe through
Yeah,
socialist countries, and
which
nothing.
included Romania.
You didn't say a damn thing about what happened in Romania, how US destroyed Romania.
Oh, I did, because that was a bigger, broader picture of suppression and imperialism.
Okay, so how did the U.S. intervention have anything to do with? Sorry, how did U.S. intervention have anything to do with lack of meat for Romanian citizens, lack of eggs, um, lack of electricity, lack of
Mm-hmm.
gas, lack of heat? Why? How did U.S. intervention have anything to do with the fact that everybody had to work? If you wouldn't work, you'd go to jail. How did U.S. intervention have anything to do with the fact that if you are a priest, you are automatically about to go to jail? I have an uncle that was a priest, and he was a religious prisoner. So
Right.
again, can you back it up? Because you didn't.
Yeah, I just
gave a
explained
broad-
it to you.
just gave a broad. No, my man. We respectfully. I'm not trying to interrupt you, so I mean no disrespect. But you
Yeah.
gave a bunch of broad definitions of UN's intervention with socialist countries and poisoning water and political moves and assassinations. None of that happened in Romania. Not one
Oh,
of the things.
it did. It included Romania. It included all of Eastern Europe.
Okay, how did it include Romania? Why did
I just explained it to you.
You didn't? You did
Oh,
not.
I did.
So, live, I thought that you might be able to back up your claim that U.S. destroyed Romania, but you're not able to. You didn't
No,
create.
I think what you're having difficulty with is understanding a broad program of suppression that included South America, Latin America, it included Eastern Europe, it included the Middle East, it included many, many, many countries. So when you want me to go and pinpoint Romania, trying to get me on things that directly were done to Romania, what I'm saying is that this was a broader picture of isolation and
I can't hear you.
okay, I'm sorry that you can't hear me, but this
I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah. So
Right,
I explained to you that what was going on in Romania was also
Wait.
happening to Latin America. It was done to the Middle East. It was happening to Eastern Europe. It was a program of isolation, economic warfare, and many times literal warfare.
Yeah. So Romania, back when communism was a thing, Romania was the number one exporter in Europe. As in,
Communism?
no, Romania was the number one exporter in Europe, while Ceausescu was the ruler. However, the Romanian citizens were starving, and you're putting that under U.S.
How old are you? How old are you?
I'm 33. I was 1 year old when communism ended in Romania.
Yeah, so you don't really know from your personal experience.
No, that's right.
Right?
I just 23 years of lived in Romania and listening to everybody talk about it. But,
And you lived in it. You lived in it under capitalism.
No, I didn't. I lived
right?
under socialism. And you tell me
you lived
I did.
1 year under socialism, right?
Hold on one second. You're telling me that I didn't live it. You as an American citizen that never been over there and never lived over there versus me that lived there for 23 years and talked with.
So you lived there 23 years under capitalism. Am I correct?
I'm sorry?
You lived under capitalism there for 23 years.
Socialist capitalism, depending how you
It's not socialist capitalism. It's capitalism.
Romania is a socialist country.
What?
What are we talking about? Romania is a socialist country, man.
Romania is a socialist country now?
No, it has been since '89. Like
Romania is a capitalist country.
By what definition?
Because they transitioned to a capitalist system after the fall of the USSR.
Yes, on fucking paper.
No, it's not on fucking paper. They have capitalists there. They have private ownership of the means of production. They have markets. They have wage labor.
Yes, and everything is controlled by the government.
No, things are controlled by capitalists. There's private ownership of the means of production.
I'm not saying
Hey,
that.
let me ask you,
But
a question, because you're a big
so,
critic of socialism. I've seen, let me ask you a question. What socialist economic theory have you read?
I haven't read any theory on
You
social
haven't
economics.
read anything.
No.
So let me ask you a question, because you have
That
this following, but
was
you are a
bad.
critic of a, hold on, let me finish, because this is a very important point. You're a critic of an economic theory which you have read none of. Am I correct?
What about capitalism?
No, you are a critic of a socialist economic theory that you have not read a page of, that you have not studied.
Correct, because it's based
Yeah,
on market.
no,
I,
but that is called uncritical thinking and contempt prior to investigation. If you're
it's
going
not
to be a critic, if you're
my
going to be a critic of an idea or a system or a country or anything, before you form a solid opinion, it's important to study, not just read a page or read a PragerU video or watch a PragerU video, but study both sides of it and then form a solid opinion that you will defend. At this point, you're unable to criticize socialism because you have not read a single page of its economic theory. You have anecdotal experience that I've talked to people. I've talked to people too.
oh
All
my
right.
god.
I've talked to people too. Listen, I talked to a guy, he said we should have never transitioned to capitalism in Russia and Romania, in Belarus. And then I speak to people that said it was a great thing that they transitioned to capitalism. I live in a
Well,
city. So I have a great variety of people with different opinions.
okay. So let me ask you this.
I'm not done
Like,
because, hold on, I'm not done because the fact is that this conversation really can't go forward because you have not studied the economic theory. You don't know what I'm talking about.
but theory
All
is
you've
theory.
done is all you've done is talk to guys. I've talked to a guy. My barber is from Uzbekistan, up the block. He tells
What?
me the biggest mistake we did was transition to capital. We had no idea what a mistake we were making.
Who said that?
It was a huge mistake.
Who said that?
My barber up the block from Uzbekistan. But even that, I can't form an opinion based on what he told me.
That's
That's
right.
irresponsible. You can't
But
form an opinion based
you're incorrect, my friend.
because
You're
the fact
incorrect.
is, no, it's not incorrect because the fact is that you in the literal sense don't know what you're talking about,
How
right?
the fuck do I not know what I'm talking about? I lived for
Why
23 years
why are
in
you
Europe.
why are you cursing?
Social economic when fucking Marx has said it very well.
Whoa,
It's based
why are you cursing and getting upset?
so because you just go
Are
on
you
this.
trying?
So give me a
No, it's not a rant, but you're getting upset and cursing.
exactly because you're telling me that
Don't
my
get
23
upset.
fucking experience doesn't mean anything because I didn't read
But
a
you're
theory.
getting so upset.
It's just a theory. And then I came to America, a country that literally gave me every fucking opportunity in the book. And I took advantage of that opportunity in the book. And I'm a fucking immigrant that came here with $500 and
Yeah.
I am on tire when I'm gonna be 50 years of age. And you're telling me that capitalism is so bad and socialism is better
Yeah.
when the majority
Because you know what country you came from? You
yes.
came from a poor capitalist country to a rich capitalist country.
How that fucking 6 months waiting for an MRI in UK?
Whoa, what's with the profanity?
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're not here to be cursing at each other.
Rated
I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy.
and I didn't curse in your direction. Did I insult you? Did I?
No, but we're just supposed to having an exchange of ideas.
So hold on. Is me saying fuck offend you? You just told
Well,
me
you
that
know
my
what? We're
experience
no
doesn't mean anything.
yes, because your personal anecdotal experience shouldn't form your worldview.
For 23 fucking
Okay,
years, and you
talking to a guy. Look,
call that
I live in the
me
I live
living
in the global center of capitalism. Okay,
wrong? Do you
so I can
realize?
form an opinion on socialism, but you have to understand something. That
I'm
when you get into a debate with someone and saying
going
fuck every other word doesn't
we
really represent you very well,
I love it
right?
when you people that probably never even lived for a year in Eastern Europe, you think you know what's going on over there because you watch some news or you read some economic theory, which is just
No,
at the end of the day. Have you been in Europe? Have you been for a year in Europe?
I have
Where?
been to several countries in Europe.
Okay, I have lived there for 23 years. I have been in Italy.
And what
Spain.
system did you live under?
So you telling me that it's anecdotal, my friend?
What system? Yeah, it is. What system did you live under?
This is literally the definition of being.
You don't understand. You
Literally
don't under. You have such a misunderstanding of socialism that you
saying
think that you lived under socialism when it was capitalism.
to the fact that US brought my country, and I asked you what the US did to Romania, and you just tell me about some variety of macro things in perspective, bro.
It's important to understand the economic theory that you oppose and that you support, and you showed me that you don't.
Yes, I lived there for 23 years.
You,
I've lived
your
for
your
years. I
opinions are based on feelings.
tell you that capitalism is the best system. There's no other system that brought so many people out of poverty. Perfect, absolutely.
But your worldview is based on feelings and anecdotal evidence.
Bro, which is literally the most cringe thing ever. You literally should. You should be a speaker at DSA.
Oh yeah, that's very funny. So here's
fucking funny when I hear Americans say that what I'm talking about is anecdotal evidence when I literally live it. Like fuck.
See
me. More ignorant.
You gotta listen. You gotta stop with the immaturity here and the cursing, because we're grown men. You're a 33-year-old man.
Yeah,
and you're trying to promote your. Hold on, I'm speaking. Hold on, I'm speaking. Yes. Part of being a man and a grown-up is listening, having an exchange of ideas, not cursing at the person every other word, and trying to express where we're coming from. Hold on, we gotta try to have some self-control here. Okay, it's really important. So the fact is that we cannot form our opinions about the world based on feelings and anecdotal evidence.
But it's not anecdotal.
Okay, no, but it is. It is anecdotal. But hold on, I'm speaking. You got to try, because this is not a good. If you're in a relationship, but if you're arguing with your significant other like this, it's very hard.
Yeah,
okay? The fact is, hold on. We got to try. The fact is you can't form your worldviews on feelings and anecdotal evidence. You said that you lived under socialism for 23 years. When Romania, hold on, you got to try.
No, I'm not. If you're
going to try.
You're going to spit what I'm talking about.
You said you lived under socialism. You lived under socialism for 1 year, and then you lived under a poor capitalist country.
That is not what I said.
When the factories closed, they were sold to capitalists for pennies. Millions of people lost their jobs in Romania. That is when homelessness came, joblessness came, starvation came, rampant corruption came. And that is what happened. Millions of people died in the transition from socialism to capitalism.
That is not true.
And I'm sorry, but I'm talking about hard facts here that you can search. I think you should find some peer-reviewed evidence and study it. And hold on, and form your worldview based on peer-reviewed evidence. Okay? Don't base it on anecdotal evidence. Don't base it on feelings. And that will help you and you can still be a conservative, but you'll be much better equipped to debate people like me when you don't base your views on those type of things.
Man, the debate ended the moment you told me that it's anecdotal that I lived there for 23 years.
Under capitalism.
Is not true. What you just said.
I'm sorry, but it is. Socialism is no longer in Eastern Europe.
Capitalism had nothing, and socialism had nothing to do with the corruption in Romania. The corruption in Romania happened because all the politicians were members of the former communist party, like Bădăran, like Iliescu, like Antonescu. Like, hold on a second. That's why it happened, because even though communism ended, or
But when did it increase?
the world, it wasn't real capitalism, because capitalism is stateless, moneyless, and so on and so forth.
What?
When that happened,
That doesn't make sense.
The communists, all those people, especially Iliescu, which was president for so long, they were members of the former Communist Party, and everybody fended to get as much as they could.
Mm-hmm.
And because of corruption, they were able to do that. If they would have been under capitalism here in the United States, they would have not happened. So that was the trying to say. And then they start this part of it was like a government branch organization. I can't. It's hard for me to translate it into technical terms. Which basically gave people loans at high interest, and that contributed to a lot of people losing their money. It was something with financial institution.
That's a big part of capitalism.
To translate it. No, it was because of the corruption. And then you had all those protests in '93, if I'm not mistaken, the year, with the miners that marched from the mines to Bucharest, and everything just started spiraling down even more and even more and even more.
And that's after it transitioned to capitalism.
Corrupt politicians that are the same politicians today in 2021. They were members, the majority of them, they were members of the communist. So my friend, respectfully, when you tell me that what I'm bringing to this discussion is anecdotal evidence, because I talked to the guy, that was what you said, that I talked to the guy. No, I heard everybody talk for a year after year after year.
And you formed your view based on anecdotal evidence and feelings and misinformation.
Fact in favor
because let me ask you this question. When Romanians are polled, usually what percentage of them want the return to socialism? What is the average number?
You referenced it in the video that you switched to 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I have yet to read it. I don't know.
It is 60%.
Yeah, I would have.
It's a little bit lower than Russia. Russia usually polls at 70%.
And what website, what poll is this?
You should look it up, man, if you're at a computer.
That's what I'm doing right now. I thought you have a website.
I mean, I'm here on my live. I don't have a computer in front of me. But the fact is that most people in Russia, Eastern Europe, when polled, and we're talking about, polls and surveys, really regret the return of capitalism. So, I know where you're coming from, because I've met many people from Eastern Europe.
With Romanian communism? Are you saying there's a pool of Romanians in favor of returning to communism?
Communism.
Is that what you said?
Let me ask you to define communism.
Can you answer the question?
There are polls that show that it's around 60% want to return to socialism, not communism. Do you know the difference between the two?
Yes, I know, and I am not going to get into that debate with you.
I'm not sure that you know. That's what I'm saying. You've already showed me that you've never read a page of the economic theory. So, okay, but you haven't read it. What is the book for if you haven't read them?
Really?
What are the books for?
Hold on.
I can't hear you.
I didn't say I finished it.
Well, if you haven't read the books, what is the point? You skim them? I mean, you can't form opinions on something if you don't know anything about it.
If this book has 300 pages and I read 200, are you telling me I can't?
No.
What?
You gotta read. You gotta go. You have, and it's not just skimming the book.
You can say.
And all you do is tell me, oh, I've read 200 pages of the book. You know what I mean? Like, we have to be critical thinkers here.
Yeah.
You're speaking to people. You're speaking to people. You're debating people that have lived in and studied and examined both systems, and you tell me you haven't read it.
So living it actually matters now.
Huh?
So living it actually matters now? You said talking with people that actually lived it. I've been doing that for 23 years. You called it.
No, you've lived under capitalism.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, so I'm having a hard time finding any poll about Romanians in favor of socialism.
Okay. So hey, I'm on my phone right now, and I don't have a computer. But listen,
you're not
let me give you some advice, okay? Because I know that this is very important to you. Okay. My advice to you is keep on learning, keep on thinking critically. All right. Never think. Set.
You're not. I can't hear you.
Okay. Let me put on this other one. Okay. Let me see what happens here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay. My advice to you is this. Because you've demonstrated. Oh, what the fuck? Hold on. This is an issue that I come across with a lot of people, especially in the United States, where critical thinking and critical investigation and critical listening is not really encouraged. And it's that people form their opinions without doing the work, okay, without studying all sides of an issue. And they base their opinions on feelings, on anecdotal evidence, on I spoke with a guy, and misinformation. And they form those opinions so solidly that they're unchangeable, okay? So if you want to keep on debating socialists and communists and all this, I would finish those books, and I would really try to understand them from front to back and really understand the ideas in them. When I ask you what's the difference between socialism and communism, you should be able to give it like that. You know, it's not that you need to go into it. So when you can explain these very basic principles, it shows that you've formed opinions without doing the investigation.
You good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I find it a little bit hypocritical you giving me advice on political debate when you literally said that my lived experience is anecdotal. That I wish
your lived experience is under capitalism.
Okay. All right. So again, in 23 years living in Romania, I have yet to talk with one person that would say that yes, I wish we would go back. And with that, I wish you have a good night.
Same thing here. Take care, man. Hey, Andy.
Oh my God, dude!
What do you think?
And that dude.
What? I can't hear.
You can't hear me right now?
I can hear you now.
You can hear me now?
Yeah.
Hold on. Can I rejoin?
No, he jumped off.
No, me.
Oh, you want to? I hear you.
Yeah, but I have an echo. Can you let me rejoin really quick?
Sure.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
You're wild. You absolutely crushed them. Listen, dude, here's a couple takeaways from these people. Anyone under 30, anyone under like 50 telling you that, oh, I lived in a communist country. No, you didn't, brother. No, you didn't. That shit on the 90s, dude. You really didn't. Then him saying, oh, well, the people I talk to. Okay, well, the people I talk to, I'm from a Soviet country. I'm from a Soviet country too. And like you said, it's about 60-70% the people I talk to. And, you know, can I read you a quote, what they say about, because then they'll say, oh, it's nostalgia, right? They'll say, oh, it's nostalgia, dude. And let me read you this quote. This is I found this randomly, dude. And I was just like, oh my God, this is hot fire. It goes, imagine you spent years of your life fighting against Hitler's invading Wehrmacht, and there were over 20 million of your compatriots that died in this effort before you achieved victory. Against all odds, Imagine then that you worked for decades in the belief that you were building a country where your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren would be safe, healthy, and educated, where workers would not be ashamed of being workers, and elderly people on a fixed income would live out their lives with dignity and honor. And then imagine one day several of the privileged beneficiaries of that system you worked to build stride up to the steps of the square and announce that all of your sacrifice, sweat, and hopes were worthless, that every value you stood for was a lie, and every friend you thought you had was an enemy, and every enemy you had was a friend. Now, years later, reduced to a ward in a foreign-sponsored soup kitchen, you watch as those who ruined your country describe your indignation as nostalgia.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, yeah, my barber is Uzbek, and he actually thinks it was a really, like, he regrets us going to capitalism, and he's just like, oh, well, who is that?
Yeah.
My barber. Yeah, dude, you crushed it, bro. I was like, ah, like watching it.
Thank you.
I hit you with a follow. I've never even seen your videos, but
thank you. I appreciate it. You know, what's funny is, let me tell you a little bit about my Uzbek barber. So he's a really friendly guy. We talk, and I was talking about how when I was a kid, I used to play.
Wait, you used to put what?
I started buying like hockey equipment. My mom was like, "We can't afford this. You're not playing hockey anymore. Okay, that's it. You're done. No more hockey." And I was like, "Well," because we weren't rich, you know, it was very expensive sport. He said, "In Russia, you wanted to play hockey. You played hockey.
You played hockey, bro.
You played hockey. You know, if you had food, you had shelter, you wanted to play a sport, you did it. You had everything you needed, everything you wanted." And that's not the story that we're given a lot by the media, by guys like the Romanian sensation,
or this guy who's an absolute, like absolutely coming on here, and you know, Americans hear the accent and they go, "Oh, okay, like this guy lives in a communist country." When you're like, dude, Romania is not communist. Oh,
yeah.
Well, based on what? Based on the mode of production, bro. Like, you don't know what these words mean. See, the one thing I disagree with you a little bit on is like, I don't think he needs to necessarily know the theory, but bro, you don't even know the words. You don't even know what the words mean. You know, so he's saying, "Oh, well, what is it capitalist based on? Based on the capitalist mode of production, bro." And if you don't know what the words mean and you're confused and you have these anecdotal stories, like, hey, bro, sorry.
My thing is about, like, if you really make like it your business. I mean, we've seen this guy around. He is a big conservative voice on TikTok, and he hasn't read the theory. Guys, like, you're not a socialist if you don't read theory. But if you're going to go out and publicize and spread and do all this, and you've never read it, you look ridiculous. It reminds me of the Zizek-Peterson debate, where Peterson admitted, you know, he's like, "Oh, I skimmed the manifesto on the way to the debate here." And it's like, you're debating one of the world's renowned socialist philosopher, and you skimmed a pamphlet?
Hey, bro, that's the same thing that happened in that debate. You're exactly right. There's a part where Zizek was like, they're talking about identity politics. He's like, "Yes, I absolutely agree with this statement, but I agree for a different purpose." And Zizek goes, "Well," or Pearson goes, "Well, you're not anything like any of the Marxists I've ever met." That's because you never met one, bro. You've been debating shitlibs your whole life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you absolutely crushed it. That was so cathartic to watch.
Thank you. I appreciate
so cathartic.
it.
I hit the follow, and you know, look
Thanks.
forward to
I
seeing
might be
more
already
good
following you, but thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
You know who I am? You see my videos and shit, or?
I have.
This is the first time I've seen any content by you, but absolutely crushed it. I sent it to E. I sent it to Eddie. I sent it to everyone. I was like, "Oh my God."
Really?
Huh?
Thank you.
Yeah, dude, you crushed it. Good job.
Thanks, man.
And then, you know,
all
what?
right, I'll see you around.
Never feel bad about, I'm telling you, because you're so right about that. And it is tough when he's like, "Well, I'm coming from Eastern Europe. Have you ever lived in Eastern?" Dude, like, you handle that so well, because here's the fact, here's the reality. And like you said, when he's like, "What poll? How about Gallup? How about Pew? How about polls that are not, these aren't Russian polls. These aren't our polls. These are your polls saying that." And so when he says like, when he tries to pretend like, well, all of my uncles said, okay, well, I don't know what backwards village you're from, dude. I don't know what backwards village you're from. So maybe all your uncles and all your aunties feel that way. But the reality is, if you look at the Pew polls and the Gallup polls and all the polling, bro, come on. It's at worst about like 40, 60, 50, 50, like, you know. So anyways, man, you killed it, dude. Good job.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. Take care, everybody. I got to jump off now, but thank you all.